the neat thing about this trip today, you're going to be seeing the cave from a completely different perspective than those folks who drive through. So it's kind of a good news, not so good news. Some of the things you're going to observe as soon as we get into the cave is it's warmer. I'm going to get you guys out into the cave as quickly as possible. It's 58 to 60 degrees. Obviously, going to be very, very dark, except we've got some lights, so don't be concerned about that. And then once we get into the cave, once we get inside, ask everybody to not touch anything, and that's only because the oil, our body oil, just kind of stops that growth in its tracks. So let's come on down here. Once we get in, if you'll kind of stay to the left, going in, and I'll get you the other way coming out. The ceiling's a little bit higher there. So when we first get in, we'll take you guys down, and we're going to take a picture of the group, which is different because we don't normally do that because we got you in the training. So that's kind of cool. So you're going to be initiated into the official honorary order of cave dwellers by having to walk underneath the drip line. But that doesn't last very long. Come on through it, get straight to your left. Good, safe footing, just watch the step.
Are you taking any pictures of that? Take some, yeah.
Oh, did you see my starfish? I found a little starfish.
Sure, yes. Maybe not this time.
All right, but Andrea, I don't want you filming. You have to watch where you're going.
There you go. Okay. And let's get in front of you. There you go. Are you going on the same thing? Okay. What?
It's pretty. Thanks, man. Thanks for taking some pictures for me. I can't do both, and here. Yes. No, I'm being serious.
Would normally be exit, but you're off the tram. I think we've already shared with you guys that you were in what we call the Hall of Giants. I want to share some of the history of the cave with you a little bit as we get outside, so you hear a bit better as far as how it was discovered. But just keep in mind, this was the first room that was encountered by the folks that explored the cave. So how cool would that have been to come into, again, the Hall of Giants and be able to feast your eyes on something like this? Let's have a little class on stalactites, which are these formations right here in front of you. Many of them have a drop of water that gravity is about to cause a fall. Now the water, as it comes through the limestone, picks up a mineral called calcite. Whenever that drop of water falls off that stalactite, it will leave that calcite in place, and a couple of million years later, you got a formation like we have over here, where the twins behind me, both of which are about 20 feet high.
I have a special setting on here for low light areas. It turns out.
And if it comes from the floor, what do they call it? Anybody help me there? Stalactite line. One, and when they go together, they're called a column. Enough of that. We didn't come to the table.
Adam, got a question. How old are those cars?
I'm glad you asked that.
No, you're not.
The geologists tell us that it takes about 100 years for any of these formations to grow a half to 1 inch. So that just kind of serves to give you a frame of reference that we haven't acquired. These giants, twins behind me, we haven't millions, hundreds of thousands of years. Not even required for this to grow. It's difficult to say. Let's move up here a little bit further. These very, very small formations are called stone straws because first they look like it, and secondly, those little guys are hollow. And those are the getting stalactites. Over time, the calcites will come in and drift down and fill that cavity up, and then you've got a regular stalactite like we've got right here. This one's obviously very active, dropping water down on this stalagmite. Once again, it'd be difficult to say how many hundreds of thousands of years were required for this growth, this size to occur. Now all this rock behind you, as it goes on further down the passageway, at one time you can see it. Remember we've been talking about water as kind of a common thread throughout our discussion about the cave today. The cave is alive and well, it's forming these stalactites and stalagmites. And over time, they've created this cavern, this passageway that we're in today. It tells us it takes about 1,000 gallons of water to erode, eat away 1 pound of limestone. So, how many hundreds of thousands, millions of years would it have taken for enough water to come through here to create a passageway this large? In fact, go on down, I'm sorry, we can't today. There's a large room, it's called the auditorium room. It's about 300 feet long, about 100 feet across, 20 to 30 foot high ceiling. And the cool thing about that room, back in the 50s and 60s, anybody ever heard of Buck Holman's or Bobby Bear or Coffee Wall, all that good old board? There's a wooden stage that is still back there. Local radio station, KGDX, back there still on the air, and a country western show called the Farm Radio Show. And brought those artists in. In that large room, there was room for 600 to 800 people to stand in front of that stage and have a wonderful time. Then back to the auditorium room, so we'll take you back further in history as well, to the 20s and 30s during Prohibition. That was a speakeasy. So you walk out here and tell them Joe sent you and get an adult beverage and whatever you did to get a speakeasy. I don't know.
I know.
The point is, the cave is
It's water hitting the lights.
history, a lot of things going on. Let's start making our way back toward the front of the cave and get outside where we're not fighting the story so much and share the story of how our cave was discovered. And as we go through, boy, feel free to take pictures. If you have questions, myself or Frank will be happy to answer them.
Thanks, Pat.
It's just a function of the angle that water is running is going from vertical to more of a horizontal or level plane, and it gives it a chance to create that ripple effect.
maintenance out.
Particular tours, 62 extension. It's just not conducive to the best in large numbers. Okay, everybody kind of gather over here. Let me share
Where's that guy
a
with
little
the
bit of
sci-fi?
history of the cave with you.
Abducted by aliens, captured
Let's
by
go back to
I don't know.
1862, and I'm John Knox, the gentleman that owned this property. And I'm out here in the woods, and I've got a dog with me, and all of a sudden that dog runs away. I'm looking for him, and I hear him barking. Frank's gonna point out, Mr. Knox comes up here and hears the dog barking inside this hole. Well, he stays there at the mouth of the entrance and manages to get the dog out. Obviously, he didn't have any kind of life source. He wasn't planning on having to crawl into a cave around here. So he does that, and remember, it's 1862. Anybody familiar with the Battle of Wilson's Creek over here on the other side of Springfield? A major Civil War battle. The point being, we had Union and Confederate forces here in this part of Southwest Missouri. Mr. Knox didn't want to let either side know for fear it would give them some kind of strategic advantage. Plus, he didn't know if it might not have big deposits of a mineral called saltpeter that was used to make gunpowder. So he kept it secret. Now we'll go to 1867. He says, all right, it's time to explore the cave. He puts an ad in the local Springfield newspaper asking for volunteers to explore the cave. This is just so awesome to me. 12 ladies, members of the Springfield Athletic Club, said, here we come. Have no idea what they were wearing. Guarantee you, they were wearing what quote proper ladies wore back then, which was in long white dresses, probably cotton or linen dresses, and they probably had a kerosene lantern and went crawling into that cave. They had to crawl through that part first. That's probably 15, 20 foot crawl before you get into the Hall of Giants. My hat's off to those ladies. If you were on the driving tour, boy, please come back if you're scheduled to get to Springfield. There's a place in the cave where they left their names, and there's 2 columns of names, and one of them, I was talking to a tour guide several weeks ago that was here last summer, had the great pleasure of bringing Ms. Worrell, great-great-granddaughter, to the cave. How cool is that? He said they both died pretty much the hope. Just fascinating. I've got some pictures that were taken when we were in the cave of this group. They're available for purchase for $10. And
I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what it looks like.
and they're going to show.
That's where we are. Fantastic Caverns. Kids are buying their souvenirs. So, let's see the souvenir Matt got. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? Very pretty. And then they're getting different rock types. Alright, this is a map. So there's a visitor center. So we went in that first room and that was it, and then the rest of it was flooded, so we couldn't do anything more. But this is the whole normal tour that you go on. Normally they drive you through this whole thing, but it's flooded. They said in '93 they had a 100-year flood, and they didn't expect another one, and this was worse than the flood in '93.